What's up, guys? It's me Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Edgar Berlanga versus Demond Nicholson, which is going to be an 8-rounder in the super middleweight division, and this fight is going to be Saturday, April 24th, from the Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee, Florida, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, or on the ESPN app. And again, both fighters, Edgar Berlanga, originally fighting out of Puerto Rico, he holds a record of 16-0 with all 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked number 21 by BoxRec in the super middleweight division, and a fun fact about all his KOs, they come inside the first round. And that is the question everyone is asking. Will his first round KO streak continue tomorrow night? But just to get into his best wins, they come against Cesar Nunez, who is a former EBU title challenger. He also has a knockout win over Lenel Bellows, who has never been stopped in his 5 losses prior leading up to this fight with Berlanga. And he also has a knockout win over Ulysses Sierra back in December of 2020 on the Shakur Stevenson versus Toka Clary main card. The thing with Edgar Berlanga, he just comes out guns blazing with his fierce and powerful right hand, and in my opinion, he's definitely one of the top prospects in boxing right now. I believe he's only like 21, 22, or maybe 23 years old. He's very young, very powerful, and he's got a long career ahead of him with that powerful right hand. And again, to his opponent's resume, Demond Nicholson, fighting out of the United States, he holds a record of 23 wins with 3 defeats and 1 draw, with 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked number 39 by BoxRec in the super middleweight division, and his losses come to Lacan Byfield via knockout early on in his career. He also has a split decision loss to Steve Rolls and a knockout loss to former super middleweight world title challenger Jesse Hart. His best wins definitely come against Isaac Rodriguez, and he has a split decision win over Mike Guy. The problem with Demond Nicholson is that he doesn't really have a great chin. As you notice, 2 of his 3 losses are via knockout, and just in those losses, he's been dropped multiple times. And that loss to Steve Rolls, I believe he was dropped in between, even though it was a split decision. And that Mike Guy victory via split decision, he also got dropped. And in that loss to Jesse Hart, he got dropped multiple times. And he got dropped to Emanuel Navarrete in their draw. And he got dropped against Lacan Byfield in his first ever defeat via knockout. But the positive with Demond Nicholson is that he has a lot of power. As you notice, he has 20 knockouts in his 23 victories. And that could be a factor here because Edgar Berlanga has never really faced an opponent with such a high knockout to wins ratio. But it is another opponent who doesn't really have the greatest chin. But if Berlanga is able to get Demond Nicholson out of there in the first 3 rounds, it is a pure statement, as no one has ever been able to do that that's at a high level. Like Jesse Hart was able to get him out of there in 7. Emanuel Navarrete had a draw with him. Steve Rolls, who fought Triple G, had a very close split decision. And many other guys weren't really able to get him out of there that quickly, except Lacan Byfield back when Nicholson was basically an amateur, essentially, with few pro fights. But this fight could go many different ways. Some people think that Berlanga might tire out and not get Nicholson out of there in the first few rounds, and he could lose, but I don't really think that at all. I think Berlanga is going to come out similar to how he did against many of his other opponents, guns blazing with that powerful right hand. He will drop Nicholson multiple times. I think it could end up like the Ulysses Sierra fight, where he drops him multiple times in that first round and gets that first round stoppage. Or it could be the first time that Berlanga enters the second round, and he could just drop him multiple times there and finish the fight in the early rounds, like from rounds 1 to rounds 3. And that's most likely where I'm thinking this fight's going to be. If Demond Nicholson hits Berlanga, who knows what's going to happen? I would love to see how Berlanga reacts by getting hit from a powerful right hand of Nicholson. And this is definitely by far the best fight and best opponent that Berlanga has faced, as most of his opponents haven't even graced the top 100, while Demond Nicholson is an established fringe contender who's fought many top opponents. But I don't really think it's going to be a factor here that it's his best opponent. I just think it's going to be like every other opponent Berlanga has faced, where he comes out there, lands one big shot, and gets an early KO. Do I think it's going to be in the first round? Yes, it could be. But I think that Nicholson does have a higher chance than many others of dragging Berlanga into the later rounds. But overall, I believe that Edgar Berlanga will stop, drop, and beat Demond Nicholson via knockout in the first 3 to 4 rounds to get his 17th knockout and 17th victory overall. And again, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.